Today is a very exciting day because I just closed on my very first investment property. 1 whole year later. Why is this dude pooping in the background every time I film? Dude loves to poop. Anyways, as you can see, the front of the house hasn't changed that much in this year, or at all really. But the inside and my pocketbook has. Man, I put a lot of money in the house. This has been such a long process, taken way longer than I thought it would, and we're still not done. It's been a whole year, so I'm gonna give you a quick little tour and we're gonna go over the numbers and the finances and how much I've spent and what I think the house is worth now compared to comps in the area. So 1 year later, let's get into it. So my biggest expense so far has by far and away been my flooring. That cost me $10,106. That right there is an arm and a leg. So $10,106 on flooring. The next biggest thing was the kitchen. Granite, backsplash, painting the cabinets, floating shelves, or not washer and dryer. I guess it is technically a washer. What is it called? How am I blanking on this? Dishwasher, duh. $5,888 on the kitchen. Next biggest thing was random miscellaneous expenses. Like the fridge, I guess I could have included that with the kitchen, but the fridge, exterminator, toilet rings, lights, AC, yeah, random things like that, $3,952. And then we completely painted the entire house. The whole house was brown and like yellow and just old and dingy. So completely painted the house, every single wall, all the ceilings, the beams, the bookshelves, the little bar area. That was $1,703. We had popcorn ceilings when we moved in, so we scraped all those. That cost $466, and that was just in materials and then buying food for friends, so kind of like a labor expense. And then the backyard spent a whopping $150, and then $1,171 on an electrician. So total to renovate this place so far has been $23,027. We've done a ton so far, made a lot of good progress, have learned a ton of things along the way, have learned things that I'm going to do differently the next time, but we still have a lot of ways to go with the master bath and then the guest bath. So I'm guessing we're probably going to spend another $5,000 or so on that. So total, I think renovations should be hopefully under $28,000 total. Okay, so we went over the expenses of the house, but I've never really gone over how much I paid for it, what I had to put down in equity, what I put down in fees, and just the total expenses of owning this house. So I'm going to walk you through it and give you a total breakdown of every single thing financial about this house. So the house I bought for $228,000. In total cash I put into it out of my own pocket is $35,353. But this is breaking down into 3 different buckets. The first one was a $6,840 down payment. So this would be equity that I have in the house from day one, and this was 3% down. The next one would be fees and closing costs. This was $5,486. This would be non-equity. This is kind of just money that you gotta pay in order to get it. And then the last one, $23,027 like we discussed. That was what I spent on the reno. But I'm not done yet. I still have to do the master bath. I still have to do the guest bath and some random miscellaneous things. So I'm guessing that I'll spend probably $5,000 on additional reno. So total, that puts me in this house for $40,353. Now I owe $217,000. So $217,000 plus my $40,000 that I'm in it. That means my break even on this house is $257,353. But I didn't spend $23,000 on reno and gonna spend an additional $5,000 just to break even. I'm trying to get at least $300,000 out of this. So if I can get $300,000, which I think I can, because based on comps, I've got a neighbor's house that isn't renovated, and that's sold for $297,000. I have another neighbor's house that is renovated, and that's sold for $330,000. Now my house is a little smaller, but it is renovated, so I'm just going to be conservative, and let's say it sells for $300,000. So I'm done with renovations, I get an appraisal, it's $300,000. There's 3 options that I can do if I want to hold on to the property and not sell it. The first one, I can just do nothing. I can just sit on it, continue doing what I'm doing, and leave it as is. The second one, I can refinance. So I've got my $300,000 new appraisal, and I owe $217,000 on it. So now I can keep $83,000 worth of equity in the house, but since I refinance, I can get rid of my PMI. So that's my private mortgage insurance. Get rid of that, and that's going to save me around $80 a month. On top of that, I can get a new rate. Rates are historically low right now. They're really low when I got it, and now a year later they're even lower. For some people, below 3%. So that's going to save me a ton on interest. So between the PMI and a new lower interest rate, that's a solid win right there. But option 3 is what I think is the best, and this is the BRRRR method. So in the BRRRR method, you buy the property, done that. You rehab the property, done that. You rent the property, done that. And now on to the next step, refinance. But this is a different refinance from step 2. This is a cash out refinance. So I've got my $300,000. That's the appraisal price. Then I multiply it by 0.8 because you have to keep at least 20% equity in the house. So that'll put me at $240,000 right there. $300,000 minus $240, $60,000 is what I have to keep in the house for equity. Then $240,000 minus my $217,000, which I owe now, and that's going to put me at $23,000 of cash that I can take out tax-free. Okay, so an overview. I bought the house for $228,000. I owe $217,000 on it. So that means I have $11,000 worth of equity in this property, or essentially my net worth in this property is $11,000. Scenario 2 increases it from $11,000 all the way up to $83,000. Scenario 3 increases it from $11,000 up to $60,000, but I also get $23,000 of cash tax-free to go then dump into the next property. But to say I went from $11,000 to $83,000 is just crazy and not fair. That makes it sound better than it really is, because I did put in over $40,000, but still, you take that $40,353 and you turn that into $83,000 in 1 year. That's 105% ROI. You really can't beat that, and that's why if you're seeing this and you're thinking about real estate, don't wait to buy real estate. Buy real estate and wait. There's so many benefits to buying real estate. To be able to turn $40,000 into $83,000 in 1 year is just insane, and it's really, there's nothing crazy that I've done, and I know it's all hypothetical still. This is just based off the comps in the neighborhood. But the fact that there is a property that sold for $330,000 really is a good sign for the neighborhood and this property in general. So technically, no, I haven't had a 105% return yet, but based on the comps, based on how my property looks compared to these properties, based on how the market is, when I do go ahead and reappraise it and I do go ahead and get the refinance, I mean, it's just, things are looking good, and you really, in terms of an investment, this just shows how powerful real estate really can be. But that's it for the numbers. Let me show you the property and what we've done and why I think we can get this $300,000 value compared to these other properties in the neighborhood. So like I mentioned, new floors throughout the whole house. This costs an arm and a leg, but I think it's worth it. They look really great, helps everything flow, and it looks super modern with the nice light floors. And then we also painted the whole house, literally the entire house. It was all brown. This was super dark paneling. And we painted everything white, painted the beams black, painted the ceilings white. This was such a long process. Painting an entire house took us well over like 4 or 5 days. But again, I think it's super worth it and makes the whole house bright and more modern. The whole dark paneling is now gone and everything's just super bright, nice, and looks super good. Painted these doors black to match all the fixtures and everything. Got all the cabinets painted white. Got this little wood paneling up here because it looks pretty cool. New chandelier, not too shabby. Got some pretty cool floating shelves. These were a pain in the butt to do, but really happy with how they turned out. Nice new dishwasher. Awesome fridge. Got this used.
Awesome fridge.
This also used. This also used. Backsplash, not used. Ovens, completely refurbished. Shout out to Kylie. Basketball hoop, doesn't provide any value to the appraisal or on the sale, but adds value to my life. Oh shoot. Still need to paint that, but we do have granite throughout the house. We've got these nice faucets. Still gonna paint that. Again, granite throughout, the matching granite throughout all the bathrooms in the kitchen. Cool little faucet. Nice little mirrors. But essentially this house and the house that sold for $330,000 are super similar. The one thing that they have on us is like 100 more square feet, but what we have on them is granite throughout the whole house. They have butcher block, they have carpet, we have nice flooring throughout the whole house. Theirs is painted on the outside, which looks really nice, which eventually I think we'll do. So there's certain things where I think they have us beat so far, and there's other things that I think we have them beat in. I think reno-wise, theirs was definitely more of a quick flip, which is good. More power to them. They killed it. They made tons of money in a really short amount of time. But I think we're putting in more effort in terms of actually creating value for the property, adding nice materials, adding things that really people are going to look for when they want to buy a house. So I'm hoping, based on those numbers and based on what they've put in versus what we put in, I'm thinking we can at least get $300,000 if they're able to get $330,000. So $300,000 is a pretty conservative number. I'd really hope to get like $310,000, $315,000. That'd be amazing. But that's 1 year in real estate. Just shows you the potential that this has. There's so much potential in real estate, and if you're not even thinking about it, start thinking about it, because if there is one investment I can recommend, this is it. My first year in real estate, gotta love it, learned a ton, grown a ton. This has been amazing. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for supporting throughout this journey. See y'all later. Like and subscribe.